everyone here knows he fits, and Ricky always brings it. So please have your notebook out, something to write on. He's going to give you nuggets. I know it. I believe he's talking about his 2025 game plan, which we're excited to hear from that. And you're going to leave this meeting with, action items that you can implement if you want to win. This guy's winning. He's over $400,000 a year. I know he's on his way to $500,000 a year. You're going to hear from a a true legend in the business, and it's just getting started for what I know he's going to accomplish. So, Ricky, thanks for taking the time, sharing with the group, and we appreciate all the value you bring. So, just going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Joel. I appreciate that. And thank you, team, for allowing me to speak to you for a few minutes this morning about, I think, some real basic things for us. And this is not going to be anything, you know, as I say, profound and prolific. And it's going to be some basic things that we got to do to move the needle in 2025 as we see it. And, it's one thing to say it, it's altogether something different to do it. And so we're going to concentrate on doing what needs to be done to get that done. So what I'm going to show you here is going to be real, real basic. And let me see if I can get this. There we go. It's a simple 2025 growth strategy that we have. And I want to encourage everyone to think about this. Think about a growth strategy for you, because it's not just going to happen automatically, abracadabra. It's going to have to be intentional. And I think for a long time we've done our business just as we go, just kind of on the fly. Nothing real intentional, no real thought into what needs to be done or what we need to do and in what area it needs to be done in. As a result, we get to the end of the year and whatever happens, happens. There was no real thought, no intentionality. And that didn't cause anything to really take place, really grow. Um, I was thinking about this when Terry brought this up to me, and it's really amazing because it made me think more about what needs to be done, what I need to do, which is prospect more. Now, prospecting can take place in a lot of different ways, as you see on that picture. Face to face, it could be out and about, it could be all over the place. But what we want to do is have 120 new members for 2025. Now, is that a lot of people? No, it's not. Now, when you got people recruiting 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people a year in their hierarchies and base shops, some even a whole lot more than that. But what we're talking about here today is 10 a month. That's 120 in 12 months. Now, for the most part, on this call today, on this Zoom call today, the VPs that are logging in, none of us are doing that for the most part. Okay, now I hadn't looked at everybody's numbers, but for the most part, nobody's really double-digit recruiting consistently. That's what now to get that done, to have 120 members in the next 12 months, I've got to I got to think about how that is to be done. What other recruiting processes do I need to embrace? Is it out and about primarily, exclusively, or will it entail social media? Would it entail some other mechanism to recruit? You see, if we think about this, when a person on POL or Primerica TV talks about recruiting 500 people in a month and so on and so forth, and they came from nothing, common sense lets us know this is not just happening out and about. Okay, there's some other methods that they're using to bring in the numbers. Once the numbers are brought in, however, we got to then go on to convert them to code numbers, and we know that's not going to happen with everybody, but there's a certain percentage that converts to codes. So that's number one. The next thing I want to talk to you about is do a business appraisal. That's what I'm doing. In other words, what would the business be worth if I'm not present? If I'm not here, what is the business really and truly worth? You see, when looking at setting goals, wherever we are, wherever anybody is on the call today, it's going to be critically important to do an honest appraisal of what the business is right now and what happens if you're not here, if I'm not here. How many licensed members do we have? How many pending licensed members that's going to take the exam? What are my assets under management holdings? How many married life clients? How many single parent clients? How many singles, period, just single people? What are the age demographics? What are my income sources? Now, this is an extremely important team because most of us, if we look at our age demographics, it's going to speak something to us very loudly. Now, I don't have time to get into all of that today, but this is important as we appraise the value of our business. Demographics, age demographics is also very, very important. And that's what I'm doing for 2025. Also, it's important to increase, for me, personal activity, new clients, new members, new ideas. So, in other words, direct recruits, direct licenses, personal premium, and also personal securities volume. And this is going to mean observing every client and recruit interaction. Now, why am I putting a focus on personal? Because I can't control, nor can you, what other people do. We can influence, we can encourage, we can lead, which is the best way to do it by example, and say, all right, here's what I'm doing, and here's how I'm doing it. And I would encourage you to consider doing something like this to increase your activity. It's personal. And then that drives, I believe, in some, to a large extent, everything else is what the leader does personally. Now, when I say direct, I'm looking at for 2025, increasing my direct recruits by 100%. That's doubling. Now, when I say doubling, that's not saying a whole lot if I didn't get a whole lot of recruits in 2024, right? If I had, let's say, 20 recruits direct in 2024 to go from 20 to 40, that's not, I mean, that's not a large stretch, but it is a 100% increase. Direct licenses, 150%. Okay, personal premium, 35%. Now, when I say personal premium, that doesn't mean a whole lot if I didn't do a lot of personal premium. I think I did about 75,000 personal premium in 2024. To go up 35% is not a real stretch. Okay, now this is why this is so important. It's important, in my opinion, to set goals that's stretching but realistic. I don't say realistic to be pessimistic. I say realistic to be realistically optimistic. Okay, this just doesn't happen. You can say, this year I'm going to make $2 million. Really? Okay, that's not doubtful thinking, but we got to be sensible and setting, in my opinion now, and setting goals. So to achieve that goal of 35% is to do about, I say, 8 to 10,000 in personal. Securities volume 200%, and that's simply to double what I've done. Now, what I'm showing you here now, team, I've looked at my numbers, and I'm not going to highlight all the details, but these percentages are doable. The reason I say they're doable, I've done it before, but I've done it just by doing it. In other words, when I say with no thought, just working, no intentionality. This year, I want to do it a little different. I want to be intentional, which might mean, as I mentioned, really taking a strong look at every client and recruit interaction. That simply means I want to look at, if I do a transaction, what happened from that. Let's call it life transaction. Did I get a Roth IRA from that transaction? Did I get any referral introductions from that interaction? Did I get any? Did the recruit come from that interaction? If a recruit came from that interaction, did the recruit turn in a list of names to be field trained? How long did it take them to turn in their list of names? Was it the next day, the same day, a week later? How long did it take that new recruit that came on board to get in the field with me to field training and start training them? Why is it taking uh, 3 weeks to get a recruit into the field? See, all this has to be looked at. Why is it taking 5 days for a brand new recruit just to simply turn in or qualify and upload their list of names? All these things are important, team. It's all about time. It's all about also, I think, speed, moving a whole lot quicker and having systems and having more of what Terry talked about, the upfront contract. When a person comes on board, let's communicate to them. These are the things that that you need to do to move your business forward. And if these things aren't done, your business will not move. And I don't think a person comes on board, pays their money just to be paying it just as an exercise of futility. I think they come on board and pay their money because at that point in time, they see an option, an opportunity to escape the rat race, to do something more than they've been doing as an employee and to embrace the 1099 world. Well, a lot of that is going to have to do with me and you and those that are recruiting and setting the proper expectations and also showing them the things, the process, the things that need to be done to move. And to help every new recruit that comes on board understand that everything is on the other side of the test, meaning you got to take a state exam and pass it. And you can't pass the exam if you don't study. Okay? That's important to understand that. And I think it's important also for me to work my existing client base, to mine the gold that's in the wall. And I want to use the first bullet point here. It's about four of them to reestablish trust. Trust is already there, but the communication has to be reestablished to reestablish trust. We all know communication is very important. I was talking to another coach, one of my newest coaches at UNC in North Carolina, and this is a basketball coach here. And we was talking the other day. We put together the financial needs analysis for them and did all that, and some rollovers, just the whole thing that comes with a financial needs analysis. And I was talking to this is her about coaching, and she says, Miss Pitts, if a player calls me, I pick up the phone. No matter what I'm doing, if a kid calls me, I answer the telephone. Because she says, with these kids in coaching, is all about relationship and time and trust. Now, listen, I know all of us got a lot of things going on. We can't always answer the phone when you got something going on and busy doing this. But listen, we've got to rethink this. At least I do. And I would encourage you to consider doing the same thing, because like in coaching is all about culture and trust and identity. And in building a business is about trust and culture and identity, communication, relationship. This is very, very important, team. All right. So cultivating the relationship with my existing clients means spending time. And it makes them more likely to trust my recommendation, because the recommendation is not just another transaction. I'm making this recommendation because based on our conversation, based on all of my documentation of what you told me you wanted, these are the things that you need to do to get closer toward that goal. If these things aren't done, it probably won't happen. Now, this same coach, UNC, had two policies with two different companies. Guess who one of them were? One of them was Primerica. The other 500,000 was with a whole nother company. And so I said, of course, I did a thorough financial needs analysis. And I said, has anybody ever done this for you? She said, no, I never had one of these done. Well, she ended up getting 800 and some thousand with me because I had to increase the coverage and rolling over, 105,000. It's not a whole lot of money. But think about this. This was somebody just went in and sold them a policy for 250,000, and that was it. Y'all hear what I just said? That was it. And now she's gonna refer me to other coaches in that at the college level because of the financial needs analysis, conversation, relationship development, trust, and that came from a financial needs analysis. That's number one. Number two is in terms of minding the goal that's in the wall, it's financially rewarding. Okay, I'm a business, and we're in business to make a profit. This is not a social gathering, a social club. This is not a 5013C organization. We are for profit. This is a business. And as a result of that, it needs to be financially rewarding. This is very important, team. Now, well, engaging my current clients is very profitable and therefore just as important as acquiring new clients. And this is something that we got to do a better job as leaders of helping the team members, particularly those that are brand new, to understand that. Why? Because a new team member will come on board and write somebody up and just say, well, that's it. They on their own now. They're grown ups. They're adults. They know they got to pay the bills. They got to pay the premium. They know it. Not so. Which is why the persistency for a lot of people are so bad because they assume that the client is just going to get it because they bought it. Well, it's important to understand there are three categories of people. You got customers, which they'll drop you for $5. It's a customer. You have clients, they'll hang around, but they're not going to send you any referrals. But they're better than customers, a client is. Then you have advocates. The advocate is your unofficial marketing department because they tell other people, their friends and relatives and neighbors about us as their financial advisors, financial coaches, whatever you call yourself nowadays. They tell other folks about us, and they would do business just because they said, John told me to give you a call. My pastor told me to give you a call. My neighbor told me to give you a call. Team, this is why this is very important, and it's financially rewarding because these are existing clients that already know us, has already done business with us. And then number three is referral opportunities. You see, we have to think about a way to build a perpetual business where we never run out of people to see. And the way we get that done is, again, developing advocates. And then everyone won't be an advocate. Sometimes we can pull introductions of referrals from our clients. The customers ain't gonna do a whole lot again because they'll drop you at the drop of a hat. Okay, so you got to communicate to them most definitely, and then convert customers to clients and then clients to advocates. And if we do that, team, we're gonna get referrals. Satisfied clients can provide valuable referrals, leading to new business as well as new team members through their network. All of us are limited resources. I only know so many people. You've heard about these 5 degrees of separation. Everybody knows somebody all the way up to the most important person in the country and sometimes in the world if we follow the yellow brick road. And we're looking for referrals. We're looking for referrals and new recruits in their network because they know people that we don't know. Now, what I'm saying this morning for my goals in 2025 sound very easy to do. The cleanliness of theory is no match for the mess of reality. Things sound real good in a presentation, information, PowerPoint, keynote, but it is the activation, it is the execution that brings about the change, which means I have to monitor what I'm doing. Not this is we already 11 days into the new year, and so that means that what is on my activity journal? What have I done so far for the first 11 days? Because the next 11 days is going to pass just like that. We got a holiday coming up. Dr. King birthday is on the 20th. I know that day I'm probably not doing a whole lot that whole day. I'll be at Auburn University on campus at 6 a.m. that morning for a breakfast with city officials and all kind of other people in the city. They got a keynote speaker coming in. I'll be at that breakfast and I'll probably go leave there and go to another event Uh, it's going to be a full day. That's like a holiday. And it is a holiday. And it's definitely one for, it's really important to me, most definitely. And so if I don't factor my journal in and factor time off, like Sunday isn't, I'm in church. I'm not working a whole lot on Sunday. Maybe after Sunday afternoon, I may do an appointment Sunday afternoon after church. Today is Saturday. I got one appointment at 11 o'clock at the office. And then I got to go and do something with my wife and daughter, some shopping, which I'm not too excited about that kind of stuff. But anyway, my point is we got to factor these things in because time passes by. This first quarter, team, this first quarter is going to be gone before we know it. We're going to be in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, 2026, if the Lord gives us that grace and mercy. And so it's important then to get referrals and to work in that network. Number 4 is upsell potential. Upsell, I'm talking about existing client base. I can introduce additional services to my existing clients, increasing their lifetime value as well as my revenue stream. It gets right back again to profitability. We are businessmen and women in this room today, in this Zoom room today, and we're here, and I want to be redundant on saying this, to make a profit. We're not here just to congregate. We're here to make a profit. And it's my intentions in 2025 to communicate that fact to the team and those that are coming on board, new team members, that you're coming on board because you want to increase your direct deposits. You want to increase your net worth. You want to decrease your liabilities, increase your assets, and make the net worth profitable over time. That's over time. To make those things happen, these are the things we have to do. Now, I can act as if these things don't exist. They're not necessary. And what I'm going to do then is waste more time, and so will you. Now, listen, that's the unadulterated truth. That's not sugarcoating it, that's telling it like it is, and that's understanding that time marches on. Earlier in the year, in 2024, we had our class reunion, 1982. You know how long that was ago, team? That was a long time. We had a high school shirts on, Lochapoka Indians. That was our mascot, was an Indian, Lochapoka Indians, and class of 1982. This is 2024 at that point. It's 2025 now. Time marches on. I told the team the other day, it seemed like, and well, let me finish this up, okay? Because I'm getting all over the place here now. Number 5, and this is the 5th point: improve client insights. Minding the goal is in the wall and improve clients' insights. Familiarity with my clients allows me to better understand not my needs, their needs, and to tailor my services, thereby improving client loyalty. As I mentioned, team, earlier, if we don't have client loyalty, they'll drop you at a hat. With these are the customers. We're trying to improve the loyalty. We're trying to take them through the metamorphosis from a customer to a client to an advocate. And that takes time, that takes communication, and which I thank God for the CRM and the whole process of sending out emails and solution letters and birthday cards and birthday digital cards and all the stuff we got going on there now in the CRM system. And that's an incredible value add that Primerica gave to all of us if we use it. And so this is going to take, as I mentioned earlier, some intentionality to make these things come to pass. Because team, let me say this now: if we aim at nothing, just aim at nothing, I promise you we're gonna hit that. Because that didn't take any effort to aim at nothing. Just get up and walk. Get up and walk and sleep, drink some water, eat breakfast, and nothingness just happens. But if we aim at a specific goal, that's going to take men uh, on purpose. You know, I sent a team something the other day, not all, then it was a few responded. I said, what does the word assignment mean to you? And I got a lot of great responses of what assignment, like you have an assignment to get a job done. What does that mean? Well, to achieve the goals that I've set for my family in 2025, I have to go on an assignment. I have an assignment to do this, an assignment to do that. And I thought about this. I was at a meeting, the senior leadership meeting in Texas this week, Tuesday. And I was sitting my wife and I was sitting at the table with a guy named Gary Martin. Gary Martin and his wife is, I think, Coletta out of California. And they're with Francis Averett and the other big, really big recruiter and person, SNSD. I can't think of her name now. She's also, I think, she's on the Francis Averett. But anyway, it says Francis Averett gave her an assignment to get 5 recruits. She said, I don't care how you get them. No, she said, I want you to get 5 women recruit. She was specific. And she said, power women. The lady told me, and she said Gary's wife, Gary Martin's wife, he's an SNSD in California. She says, I'm on an assignment because Francis asked me to get 5 directs. She said, I don't care where you get them, how you get them, just get them. And this is an SNSD. See, sometimes I think we think we've made it when we don't confuse a little success and a little progress with the pinnacle, with the peak, with being at the top of Mount Everest. It's a little success. And we still, me personally, still got to do what needs to be done to get it done. The last thing, team, that I'm going to do in 2025 is get into the managed money business in 2025. And that's going to be around April of this year is when I intend to kind of get into that market because I've not done anything with managed money, but it's a revenue stream, it's an income that we can make a part of our practice, and I think thereby make a pretty big difference. And so, there you have it. It's about 28 minutes in. That's kind of what we plan to do in 2025 to improve our progress and to to take our business to the next income level and our team size, to increase our team size in increments. And I pray that as we develop and look at what we're doing and learn the recruiting process, because it has to be learned. There's a process in it, and find out what other people are doing to get these recruits in and get them licensed, knowing that there's going to be a certain percentage that's going to come on board and disappear. I hate that, okay? But ain't nothing I can do about that. Then there's a certain percentage that's going to come on board and listen, get trained, and get licensed and become productive. That's the way it is in football, baseball, softball, track, volleyball. They got to recruit so many, and some come in with all kind of talent and skill, but not coachable. But you still got to recruit. So the relationship you can't alienate anybody, meaning that you're gonna bring some people on board, and all of us are, and the relationship is gonna be a good friendly relationship and a good client relationship, but they're not gonna be a recruit. Okay? And that's okay. So we're not trying to make enemies, but we're not trying to waste time either. Joel, that's all I got, buddy. And if anybody has any questions now, I could certainly entertain any questions.
I love it, Ricky. Phenomenal job. Yeah, guys, if you can throw your questions in the chat for Ricky, we got some time here. And Ricky, I'd love to talk to you. Well, first of all, I love how clear your game plan is for 2025. That's important, right? You have to have a clear, concise mental picture of what you're going after, or else we don't have a target. I would love you to talk a little bit more on, like, for the news people. I'm looking at the list of attendees, and there are some new names up here. And like you said, I hate when I see people either quit or give up on themselves because I don't, it might be one or two things, right? They don't believe they can do it, or they don't see how great this opportunity really is if they follow through. Um, so maybe just talk to them, because that initial first, let's say, month or 2 months where they're making a list, or hopefully they are, if they're gonna have any success here, the trainers kind of encouraging them to do things that they're going off a little bit of faith, right? Maybe just talk to them about being coachable and Not stalling out.
Joel, I think everyone on the team that's recruiting has that same challenge, is communicating to adults. Sometimes that can be somewhat of a handicap because they've had some degree of success in what they do in the W-2 world. In other words, they are a manager, or they are a teacher, or they are a police officer, fireman, or they got their own business, and they know that well. But there's a disconnect somehow or another when they transition over here part-time, is that the same processes you embrace as a fireman, police officer, teacher, coach, whatever it is, you got to apply those same things over here. Not because we're trying to boss you and tell you what to do, is because we don't want you to waste your money nor your time, nor we want to waste our time. And it's critical to just follow the coaching directions, not as a dictatorship, but it is necessary to cross the finish line, to run these plays right here, and this is the reason why. And so, if new people uh, Joel, would just understand that the recruiter has a vested interest in their success. We all do, in their success. If they don't make it, it doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't profit them, nor does it profit us, because if we don't get them licensed and productive, they're not going to make any money. We don't get them licensed and productive, that's not going to add anything to the bottom line of the business, the organization, the base shop. And so all this is done for a reason, and it's a win-win. It's not a win-loss. If you win, the trainee, a recruiter wins. And if the recruiter wins, I mean, it's better across the board. And so one of the things also we learned at the leadership meeting is to use the things that Primerica already has in place. They got the CRM, as I mentioned, they got the contact manager, all these tools, and the recruits can simply upload their names right from their cell phone. Once they upload those names, they can go in there and qualify them. Who's 25 to 55, who's married, who has a home, who has kids, who's employed. These 4 and 5 point clients. And it's just like recruiting in football, baseball, softball, or track. They're trying to get a 4 or 5 star player. Well, they do that based on a lot of statistics. Well, and that's how they can land that kind of person. Well, in Primerica, you qualify your list of names in 3, 4, 5 points, and they are all listed in the Primerica app. The system is already in place. So I would encourage the new recruits, Joel, as I'm encouraging those that I'm bringing on board. Now I got 4 I'm working with right now, 4 brand new directs, encouraging them to put together the list of names, and then we're gonna set a time, a schedule, put it on the calendar to make 3-way phone calls to call to set appointments, because observation, you know, repetition is the language of the brain. So you want to see the same presentation at least 15 times. One in our base shop, once you've seen it at least 15 times, now you can make it you. Same playbook, but you're using your style, your voice, your tonality, your to get the point over. But you've seen a trainer do it 15 times. The process, presentation, get information, carry back, close, get referral introductions, recruit. That's 15 times. And if you don't do that, what'll happen, you can come in here and get all the licenses. You can be certified in everything that we do. And once you pass your test, not know what to do. You will never train. And Joel, some of this is humility. It's just being humble enough to say, I don't know, and I need to be trained. Not saying I'm gonna wait till I get my license and be trained, because then you behind the 8 ball, way behind the 8 ball.
Awesome. And while waiting for questions to pop up here, one more from me is, if you can just address the other side of the coin, right? The field trainer. I think it's important that the field trainer cares enough to confront, right? in a professional manner where we let them know, hey, listen, if you don't do this, it's just you're set up for failure. Now I'm doing you a disservice, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you'll train a lot of people and you're a very good communicator. Maybe just share a tip or two that you use when you have, we all love the recruit that comes in, makes a list, gets in the field, and sets the world on fire. But that's not the majority of recruits.
Yeah.
More often, it's going to be some work and effort that the field trainer has to get in there and communicate. Hey, this is why we're doing it, and when they're not doing it, confront that. Maybe just touch on that.
Joel, that's really, really important, okay? Now I'm gonna show you something here that well, the way I handle that, Joel, as I mentioned earlier, I don't want anybody to be an enemy or make them alienate them. I want to always be that friend that can give me a call for financial advice or what have you. Always, if they walk away and leave. But at the same time, I got to think like a coach. I got to think like a business person. And a business person has to do always does an inventory. They know what they have, they know what they don't have, they know what they need. In athletics, football, basketball, all coaches know what they have, and they know what they're not gonna have in the next season. Okay, so I'm gonna show you something real quick that you just brought something else to my mind there that I had to do. Now, what I'm showing you on the screen here now is you can go to POL, you see your whole base shop. All RVPs can do this, right? This is just names and solution numbers. So that's the whole base shop right there. Okay, that's all the way down and all the way down, all the way down. That's if I count myself, that's 85 people, I think. Yeah, 85 altogether. Yeah, 85 altogether. Now, the fact of the matter is, all 85 of those people are not in the game. So what I did is this is what I'm doing now. Is streamlining. So the ones that are in green are licensed. The ones that are in yellow are studying for the exams. I've cut it down from 85 to 39. And so not those that I'm cutting, just getting out of the base shop. We're not enemies, but I don't want people to pay $25 a month, Joel. Brand new people that's not taking the test, been studying for a year, okay, and not taking the exam. I don't want to pay $25 a month and not doing nothing. That could go into a mutual fund. They could do something, they can pay a bill with it. When they're ready, they know they're welcome to come back. So you have to do, in my opinion, an evaluation of it's a business appraisal. What are you working with? So you politely disengage, not to, again, as I mentioned, not to alienate, but to know what you're working with. Don't go on the illusion. Okay, go to POL, say 150 people. Come on. It's like, and I mentioned it's like a church. I attend church here in Auburn, Alabama, and I think it may be 1,000 on the roll, something like that. 1,000 people on the church roll. But I promise you, 1,000 are not showing up on Sunday morning. Yes, 150, 200 people. I can make myself sound real important and say, hey man, we're running 1,000 on our church roll. I'm not the pastor, of course, but I'm the CFO and of the church, and so I know what the numbers are and what the numbers are not. This same thing applies and across the board, Joel, and everything, and we see it real clear in other areas of our life. It's in Primerica we tend to get selective amnesia, and we don't see it here, and it works here. It applies here as well. Yeah.
So good. This is super valuable stuff, Ricky. So why don't we got a couple questions. Erline's asking if you can just anything you feel like posting in the group me, if you can do that. And then William Bovin has a question. It's if you don't mind, can you see that because it's kind of lengthy? I'll let you kind of
Let's see.
read it. It says, "Would you please again say what comes after your cleanliness of theory, and it has nothing to do with dot
Oh, I
dot dot."
got you. The cleanliness of theory is no match for the mess of reality. So you can make something look real pretty. I mean, You get chat. What is it? Chat? Is it CGBT? Whatever. Chat something. I get that mixed up, but you can use that thing, boy. You can put together something that's so beautiful, with no thought. You don't have to. It does all the work for you, and it looks like this is perfecto. But the reality is, you got to get in there and do the work. Ricky, there's no silver bullet. It takes work. Okay, team. Hey, it's gonna be cold this weekend. It's cold now. Here it's 33 degrees. Joel says is in the teens up there in New England. But the good news of it is we can work from home. I'm looking out my windows here now, and I see it's cloudy. It's overcast. But I'm going to the office today to do one in-person meeting. But for the most part, everything is done for me now, for us, virtually, and we intend to continue to use this system virtually. Okay, and that's nothing against anybody else that feels that face to face is the only way. Um, I'm just saying for us, we're going to do the best we can to master this system of a virtual business and a virtual team. And we're going to do some face to face too, but yeah, virtual.
Great time we're in. We have the tools. We have everything in place to go win. So, hey, we appreciate you. I got 2 pages of notes here that I can take home and implement right away. I know a bunch of the guys on the call here. I'm sure it feels the way. We just want to thank you for you just bring you bring a lot of value, and I hope you know that. So, thank you for spending the time today.
You're welcome, Joel. Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, you too.